I got a copy of this movie called The Nightmare Code that the people involved had asked me to review. It's this really cool concept that is unfortunately hampered by the budget. This is one of those movies that I feel if they had a little bit more money, it could have been really good. Now, money doesn't always dictate quality. I mean, look at Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity was $15,000, and I think that movie's brilliant. This one, it just needed that little bit extra, but still, I did think it was cool. So let me go over what I liked and I disliked about it. It's this movie that's told through a bunch of surveillance footage and webcams. There's this guy who's working on this surveillance program, and what it does is it works on pattern recognition. So it looks at your face and it can tell what you're thinking. And they want to use this as kind of a Minority Report thing where they can tell who's going to commit a crime before they commit a crime, that kind of thing. The programmer snaps and goes on a rampage, killing a bunch of people in the office and then killing himself. The company doesn't want to lose the contract that they have in the software, and they hire this other programmer to come in and finish working on it. So it's him and this small team of programmers that are working on finishing the software. And there's this whole subplot about how the guy leaked some information, he's in trouble with the law, and he's trying to go through court to get out of it, but he's working with these people, and if he can finish the program, they'll pay off the lawyers and get all his troubles taken care of. So there's a lot of him talking to his wife and his daughter on webcam about, how they miss him and all that stuff, and he starts to kind of go a little bit insane himself while he's working on this thing. It reminded me a little bit of The Lawnmower Man, where humanity and technology kind of intersect. I thought the concept was cool. I liked how the software would occasionally show what it interpreted the people were thinking. For example, there were two people, they were talking and they were arguing, and the software interpreted that as the two of them just beating the shit out of each other. The two leads, Brett and Nora, I thought were very good. They did a great job in their roles, but some of the other cast, that's where the money kind of became an issue. I thought that the guy who played Foster Cotton, who's supposed to be this brilliant software engineer, I thought his acting was just terrible. And unfortunately, he has a very important part, and it did kind of take me out of it because it just didn't work. I did like, and this is something that maybe two other people will get, Tanya Kaye had a little tiny part in the movie. She was Creature in Who Wants to Be a Superhero, which was this Sci-Fi Channel reality show from years back. Seriously, I think me and maybe a handful of other people watched. But I was like, oh my God, it's Creature. So that really made me laugh. The way they told the story with the surveillance footage, it was interesting. It was a different sort of way of doing a found footage movie. Most of the movie, they did it with 4 split screens. And so you would see somebody walking down a hallway, and then the other screen, they'd be walking towards the camera. And it was a cool way to do it. And it must have been a logistical pain to get all that stuff lined up properly. What I didn't like about it, some of the acting was bad. I didn't like how it was a little too on the nose with certain things. There's something I don't want to spoil, so I'll just say Brett's watching the footage of Foster go on his rampage, and at the end, he kills himself. You know that happens from the beginning of the movie. But then what happens next, they didn't really need to show it, because then it doesn't really leave anything up to your imagination. They could have just ended it there and then later on reveal what happened. Overall, it's an interesting movie that I think the ambition went a little bit beyond what they could afford. They played very well off the fear of technology, and I was never bored. It was not a boring movie. It's just, as I was watching it, I just kept feeling that this is almost really good, but instead it's just okay.